This is Mountain Vision. Welcome to the Blue Devils Football Coaches Show. Your home for all things Manchester High School football. With head coach Evan Huckstetler and your host, J.J. Hush.
Hello and welcome to the Manchester Football Coaches Show. I'm your host, J.J. Hush, alongside the coach of the Manchester Blue Devils, Coach Evan Huckstetler. Coach, thank you again for your time this week.
Thank you.
So you guys went down to Macon this weekend, played the Charlton County Indians, and ran into a buzzsaw a little bit in Class A powerhouse in Charlton County, but still some positives on that and negatives down in Macon this weekend.
Yes, we always try to take some positives and negatives from any game, no matter if we win or lose. Obviously, some of the positives, I know the scoreboard was not pretty, but looking at film, I can tell some kids are taking a step forward in the right directions. Then again, some kids are not, and they're kind of stalemating themselves. I thought the kids played well to begin with. We shot ourselves in the foot. I tell the football team there's always 5 plays within the football game that are going to make or break a football game. And we lost all 5 of those plays in the first half. And we pointed that out to them on film today. Obviously, one of them was the second play of the game. We had the running back hemmed up the backfield, and he broke it. I think that was about a 73-yard touchdown run, and just little stuff like that. We had Charlton County in a couple of 3rd and 12s, and we let them pick up the first down. And there's a couple of spots where we could have scored if we blocked this one man, and it gets to the point of getting your hat across the front, and sometimes we had a hat on the backside, and it's hurting us right now.
Yeah, getting those little things down, the fundamentals, especially on the season opener, is going to be something that's going to be a struggle. But it's something that can help build for the next few weeks.
Yeah, hopefully, most coaches say that the football teams improve the most from game 1 to game 2, and that's what we're trying to do this week. We're trying to get better every day. We got better today in the film room. The kids were focused. The kids were asking questions, and they took the constructive criticism very well. I was very impressed with our student athletes in the film room today. And then we went outside. We got after it for about an hour and a half, and we had some pretty hard conditioning at the end. We had a couple of talks with the football players, but we did pretty good today.
Let's talk a little bit more in detail about that ball game on Saturday. Of course, 5 o'clock is a little bit hot down there in Macon. I think you mentioned that it was raining all the way down there.
Yes. And
so it was a little bit of wet conditions, but talk about the offensive side of the ball a little bit if you guys get started. Overall, how did you observe the offense and working against Charlton County?
We got a long ways to go on the offensive side of the ball, and I told the kids today, I said we got to trust the system. We have a very good system in place. It's the Wing T system. It's been wonderful for the coaching staff where I have been at in years before. The kids, some of them may be on the fence if they trust it or not, and I told them, I said, we cannot be on the fence no more. It's all in, all out. And I pointed them out on the film. I said, if we take a proper step here, hat across, we're okay. But offensively, against Charlton County, we did not have a good day, to be honest with you. Most of our big plays came off the counter play. Charlton, they love to fly to the ball. They're flying to the ball. So we had 7 big plays off the counter game. I think we had 105 yards rushing. I bet you probably 80 yards came off the counter play. But they took away our ISO, took away our chop game, and took away our butt sweep. But I think that we took ourselves out of the butt sweep in the G-Power game. We didn't block it very well. But the tip we had to Charlton County, their coaching staff, and their student athletes, they had a nose man that we did not handle at all. He made some really big plays.
Even though you guys had a rough day on offense, anybody that in particular that stood out and kind of put themselves in a better position than they were at the beginning of the year?
Gamble, our right halfback, he made some really nice runs. I told him today it's going to be hard to keep him off the field. The issues having now, we'd like to do a lot of formations. We do a lot of same girl, different dress concept, and right now he's trying to pick up on what formation's what. But when he knows what to do, he is very tough to stop, and he's going to be a big-time player for us starting next week and down the road. He's got to take a couple more steps to improve. I'm looking forward to coaching him for 2 more years. We got this year and next year, but Gamble did an outstanding job on some counter plays. The Addy receiver and Garrett hooked up on a couple passes. We have to fix a couple things in the passing game, but I think that's going to be there by reach and play. And I thought that Moot Powell did a good job at right tackle. So there's some positives, but we still have a long ways to go.
Let's talk a little bit more about that offensive line. You know, it's a big awakening when you face a team like Charlton County, and you have you said the defensive line. Charlton County was very good, and they penetrated very well.
Yes.
Talk about how it is to face those guys and what adjustments you guys would make on offense to get that wing T going.
Yeah. Well, I told some coaches that I know throughout the state, I said, I did not like going up against Charlton County the first game for our offensive line because it's a rude awakening. I mean, it just is. We cannot stimulate what they have during the week, no matter who we put out there, how hard we go. But their defensive line's outstanding. They not just a nose man, but they had 2 more. We could not get the backers because of the defensive line. But offensively line, we got to get better. Our guards got to get better. We on the butt sweep and the trap game, we allow ourselves to have a little trash just get on our way. And it's just part of, we teach the 4 o'clock and the 7 o'clock step, and 5 o'clock step. If they step a little bit deeper, they're better off. They just get away from that trash, and sometimes we're stepping flat, and we're running in trash, and sometimes we're stepping too deep and wasn't getting there. We just got to be consistent on our steps. And in years past, that hadn't mattered so much here, but it matters now. And we're going to correct the little things.
And those little things they make a difference, because when you have a step like that, it affects not only your line and the blocking adjustments, but your running backs. You know, especially when you have this kind of.
It does. It affects the whole thing. And our running backs at times block okay. Then at times we did not block at all. I know. One time we had a 3rd and 3, and it was on our sideline, and we got read away as an ISO formation, but we did a fullback toss, and we have 2 running backs blocking the outside linebacker. And the initial contact was good. It was high. It was hat on hat, and I teach run your face mask through the outside armpit, but the contact was high. And the next man, I call him the trash man, we clean up the trash. If the trash coming through it, we clean it up. And he got by him too quickly, then the trash came by, the defender broke through the block and made the tackle. Instead of picking up the first down, we were at 4 from 1, and we're going to go for it the next play and run the same exact play. And but we had a procedure penalty and then backed us up more. So we're shooting ourselves in the foot.
Talking about troubles on the offensive stuff, I believe that you guys had a good amount of penalties as well that kind of hurt you guys. If I think it was about right, it was about 11 penalties, right at about 90 yards as far as on the day. Talk about what we can do to correct those and to get it back to where we play a little bit more cleaner on the negative yardage for us.
Well, some of the issues come from our cadence, and again, having that big nose man in front of you, it affects the cadence between the center and the QB. It shouldn't, but we have a sophomore QB in this new system, so it might take him a couple of games to get under his belt. He came to me today, and he wanted to talk to the offense, and he's taking steps toward being a leader. He's not quite there yet, but he's going to be there as a tremendous student athlete. But the procedure penalties we have to clean up. I thought one time we ran a counterplay with Gamble, and Gamble broke a long run. I think it was about 60 yards, but it ended up only being about a 10-yard run because we had a holding call 15 yards down the field. But I thought it was a good block. He did have jersey, but I thought it was a good block. So it's hard to clean up the holding calls when your hands are inside. We teach that. It just depends who you have. And we had a face mask one time that I did not think it was a personal foul face mask. The hand did touch the face mask, but it was off pretty quickly. But the procedures are ones we got to clean up.
Talking about Charlton County's offense a little bit, they ran the ball pretty well Saturday and gave you guys some trouble. But talk about the defense and seeing something like that and adjusting to it and learning from those those big running backs they got down there to move forward.
Yeah, well, it's definitely a learning experience for our defense. I know that they scored 33 points. One was off a punt return. One touchdown was off a 73-yard run, but we had them hemmed up in the backfield and just got to make the tackle. But overall, just looking at the film, the defense played a whole lot better against Charlton than they did against Harris County. I know the fans may not see that and the people in the community may not see that, but just looking at the film from Harris County to Charlton, we got a lot better defensively. Now, we do have to correct the things. Our defensive ends are giving up their outside shoulder. And we didn't stunt that much. We didn't slant, but for some reason they're peeking inside. And that's going to be corrected. It may take a couple weeks. They're used to a gap control defense, just shooting gaps, but we hit through the V of the offensive lineman. We throw our hands in and we read. So they cannot shoot inside. We gave up our outside shoulder way too much. And Ferguson, when we go to the spread, our middle linebackers, he's by himself instead of being in a 4-4 scheme. And a couple times he played like a sophomore as far as not reading and just filling it up in A gap or B gap. And we showed him that on film today. Hopefully he will improve. But it's a learning process. At one point, I would say about 50 snaps last Saturday, we had 8 sophomores on the defensive side of the ball. And they're going to make mistakes.
Talk a little bit about the defense. Who are the guys that actually stood out and actually made some plays that really took your eye a little bit and put them up at the top of the list of guys to look for this next week?
I thought Anthony Bell did an outstanding job at outside linebacker. I know most people think he's an offensive guy, gets at the fullback position and what he's done for Manchester in the past. But he played a much better game against Charlton County than he did against Harris County. Charlton County enjoys throwing the little bubble screens and the hitches, and he was right there several times. So he had a pretty good game. I thought his younger brother, Bell in the secondary, had a pretty good game. That a couple times he should have came up a little bit quicker and make a tackle on a couple hot routes, and he fell down one time on the out route. But he was in a position a good bit. He did drop a pick that we should have had it. That would have put the ball for us inside the 15. But other than that, the two Bell brothers did a really good job on defense.
And speaking of the passing game, those guys, they only threw the ball, I think, about 10 times, but they only completed 8 passes for 34 yards.
Yes,
so you guys limited them very well in the passing game.
We did a real good job. We kept everything underneath. And that also tells me that the back end, the safeties and the corners were doing a good job with their covers. They were not allowing the receivers to get past them. So we fundamentally, and just looking at it, we were sound in the back end, and they threw it underneath us, and we made the tackles, except for maybe 1 or 2 times that hurt us.
Football season is here. Get your lineup ready with your favorite team accessories at Manchester Farm Garden and Hardware. Flags, banners, and all types of fan gear. Alabama, Georgia, Auburn, and Georgia Tech. Don't forget about the great selection of Carhartt clothing and Georgia boots, too. We have everything you need to make it through your work week till game day here at Manchester Farm Garden and Hardware in the Town and Country Shopping Center in Manchester.
Here at Sun Fashions, we have a variety of all your needs, from half wigs to whole wigs, from lace front wigs to ponytails. We also carry your beauty supply needs. We have your latest fashion in jewelry, handbags, clothes, and shoes. So whenever you're in town and you want to shop around, make it your passion to come to Sun Fashion.
Let's talk about special teams a little bit. You mentioned that there was a touchdown that was given up on the special teams side of the ball. How did that happen? What exactly transpired there, and how can we go to fix that for the future?
Well, about 5 plays beforehand, Charlton County tried a field goal from a long ways out, and it was short. And Preacher Man, Addy, number 11, he caught it inside the 5-yard line, and he was just going to make an athletic play. He did the right thing. He was going to take off down the sidelines, and one of our defenders was blocking a Charlton County guy. He did not get his hat across, and it was in the back. And so Preacher ended up returning to about the 30-yard line, but we had the ball inside our 3 because of the penalty. And it's very difficult to move the ball out of the red zone when you're trying to go out. We didn't want to throw the ball at that time. We didn't want to take a sack, and we did not want to throw a pick down there, give them good field position. So we ended up punting it from our 2-yard line. And I'll be honest with you, the snap was good, the punt was good. Might have been the best punt of the night, but our kids did not run their lanes, and part of it falls on me. During the timeout, we said we were in the safe punt. Instead of having our gunners outside gunning for the return man, we brought them in for have more blockers, and the blocking was fine. But we teach block. We attack for a second, then we go. We run our lanes. If you're not covered, you step inside, wait a second, 1,000, then you go. And unfortunately, we had one person do that. And so when there's nobody covering, we showed it to him on film today. When the guy caught the ball, he was able to run 12 whole yards before any blue jerseys were in the film. And we cannot have that, and that will be corrected. But the snap was good, the punt was good, the protection was good. Now we got to do something else that's really good and run our lanes.
And that's the little things that you guys can do,
Yes.
especially in the
Yes.
out of region games and stuff like that,
Yes.
to prepare you for when you get to that region point.
It's better doing it against Charlton County than a region opponent.
Coach, let's go back to the offense side of the ball. You said that your quarterback, your sophomore quarterback, the cadence and stuff like that on penalties was there, but they did actually throw the ball a little bit. We're pretty successful sometimes. We can
Yes.
work on that.
I believe we had over 100 yards throwing the ball. I think it was either 4 for 10 or 5 for 10. I have to go back and look at the stats. He did throw a touchdown. I thought for his first game against that type of opponent, he did a really good job. I know they got pressure on him a couple times. Had 2 sacks. I know we threw a screen pass in the dirt, and I think it's the right decision by him. They had it covered, so he didn't try to make a mistake. But we did complete a couple passes to our receiver, number 11, Addy. He's going to be big for us down the road. I told him today we got to start working on some other things to make the passing game go. But they did a good job. And also, one time he connected to Little Bell, Anthony's brother, on a corner route for a touchdown, and it was a beautiful ball. So he's improving. He's getting better. He's one of those guys that play a lot of baseball this summer. And as a football coach, he got a kid that's 6'6", and he throws really good on the mound. You let him play baseball because more than likely that's what his scholarship's going to come from. So he played baseball all the way through June and July, and we got him about a week before the season where we just kind of concentrate on throwing the football only. So he's only going to get better each week, and I'm looking forward to big things. He's got a good presence in the pocket. He can stand tall. He can see the field, and he's blessed to have some kids that can really catch the football.
Yeah, talk about those guys a little bit. That quarterback wide receiver connection, it only gets better with time, and you got those guys, and you got guys like Addy and Lil Bell that are those athletes getting in the ball. There's nothing wrong with that. They're going to make plays.
No, we're going to do that. We're going to build on it each week. Obviously, you don't want to do everything right now. That's not how we coach. We try to get better each week at a time, and hopefully by reach and play, we have a good foundation what we want to do in our passing game. There's some things we keep in our back pocket, but there's a few things, and I told Addy during film today, we had a post route call, and he got past the corner, and he just put his hand up and kept on running the go route, and behind it we had the wheel, the out and up. And that's part of being a good teammate. He got to do the play that's called and what his coach is doing, get on the post, and hopefully that corner goes with him. But it was Gamble that's right behind him on the wheel, and Gamble was coming open. But we ended up throwing an interception on that. But little things like that, we'll get better.
And being a receiver in the offense is primarily running the football.
Yes.
Is a tough thing, but to have those weapons is going to be good because it'll open up not only your run game, but when the run game's, they're starting to cheat down some guys from the in the 8-man box, stuff like that. It'll open up the pass game.
I'll be honest with you, and in my 3 years as an offensive coordinator, I have not had a weapon like I had as far as being a receiver. And it's a learning process what we can and cannot do with him. But you're right. We got a quarterback that can stretch the field vertically. We got a receiver that can stretch the field vertically as well. And we got some halfbacks that can stretch it vertically. I mean, most of the passing game that in the wing T is to the halfbacks on the waggles and the flood passes. But we're going to try to get the ball to everybody.
We'll be back with more with Coach Hochstetler on the Manchester Football Coaches Show.
Here at Sun Fashions, we have a variety of all your needs from half wigs to whole wigs, from lace front wigs to ponytails. We also carry your beauty supply needs. We have your latest fashion in jewelry, handbags, clothes, and shoes. So whenever you're in town and you want to shop around, make it your passion to come to Sun Fashion.
Football season is here. Get your lineup ready with your favorite team accessories at Manchester Farm Garden and Hardware. Flags, banners, and all types of fan gear. Alabama, Georgia, Auburn, and Georgia Tech. Don't forget about the great selection of Carhartt clothing and Georgia boots, too. We have everything you need to make it through your work week till game day here at Manchester Farm Garden and Hardware in the Town and Country Shopping Center in Manchester.
Welcome back to the Manchester. Welcome back to the Manchester Football Coach. This week, Coach. This week is the first home Friday night, guys. Friday night, 7:30 here at Memorial Stadium. Here at Memorial Stadium. You guys take on a good opponent in the Taylor County. Talk about what we can expect. Talk about what we can expect from those guys coming in.
They also went through coaching staff and coaching change. Obviously, they're very excited. They're excited. They're County. They're doing an outstanding job. Looking at them on film this year, last year, it's better. And some of it, kids, a little bit older, and another year in high school. They're better. They're a lot of involved in the staff shortage. He does an outstanding job. We'll see a well-coached team that's hungry to win.
Talk a little bit about you know, we talked about your defense is growing, defended the pass pretty well. They're going to have to do that. They're going to have to do that this week. They'll spread it out.
They will. We got 2 games. We had the scrimmage. We had the first game. We really don't put in much data for the scrimmage. Not good data. But they threw the ball about 70% each and it's a team that spread. It's in the spread. Just like Charlton County formations are about the same. They may ask the kids to do something a little bit different. Try to spread a little bit more, but that's not what they tell the line it up, pound because they have the ability to do that. But they tend to throw it a little bit more because they have one of the best sophomore quarterbacks.
Let's talk a little bit about that sophomore quarterback and Gunnar Watson. Gunnar Watson is a young guy, right at about 185 pounds.
What's his first name again? It's a good name for him. I tell you what, he definitely throw the ball. I told Coach O today. To me, he was short. Reminds me of short baseball first. Nice and easy and fielder. It's much easier to throw the baseball wherever you want to. And he's back in the pocket. He can throw this sideline to 50 yards. And I know one touchdown pass. They're on the far hash. And he had pressure. He avoided the pressure. And he avoided the pressure. The whole time the receivers, which is almost unheard for high school kids to do that. Specialist. That shows how mature and how well coached he is. He avoided pressure, avoided the sack. He's still looking. He guns the ball. It's only about 25 yards past. It's about 45 yards. He threw it to the guy for his touchdown. Wide open for his touchdown. He's incredible. I know the quarterback up in North Georgia. One a lot of people talk about. The one at Taylor County in 2 years. If he has his head on, I don't know. He will have his education. He will have his education paid for playing football.
He's definitely a good talent. He's definitely a good talent. Some guys he can throw it to. He's got some guys he can throw it to. He has talent as well. Good guys, not only some good guys, not only a sophomore. They have a sophomore now. Lynn J. Dixon. Lynn J. Dixon, 23. He's number 23. He's a very special player. He's a very special player. And I don't blame the coach. They try to get him the ball. They try to get him the ball for that. They'll put him in the back. They'll put him in the counter game. Run the counter game. Run the ISO game. They run the power. They run the power. Running those three plays. And he does a very good job. He does a very good job. They put him in the slot. Receiver. And they try to stretch him vertically. They throw the underneath stuff. If they go him vertically, he's fast enough. He's fast past the safety. Get past the safety. He has outdone in one time, it threw a vertical to him. It threw a great ball to him. It's a great ball. And about 3 plays later, film almost the same play. Almost the same play. Vertical. It's almost like he did it. It's almost like he did it to make up for this time. He caught it one hand. One hand. He'd go. You don't see sophomores doing that. You don't really see that. You don't really see kids doing that. High school kids doing that. They stretch the field vertically because he's fast enough. He's tall enough. And he has outstanding hands. They throw it. But they throw it the short game because he's such back. He catch it. If he catch it, more than likely he will break the tackle. So we have to get half. So we have to get half. We worked on that today. We worked on that today. In the flash, threw it over here. We had 11 hats. We had 11 hats. We cannot give up. We cannot give up. And those guys. They're guys that can score down that ball. They were down nothing very early. They caught up. They caught up. Break that thing. East Lawrence made that thing. Yes, they threw a little bubble screen early in the game. I think somebody tipped it. Somebody either hit the receiver, either hit the receiver straight up. East Lawrence had a guy there. Nobody was there. Nobody was there. He ran the tackle and touchdown. There were touchdowns. I think they were inside the 25 or 20. But they were about to score. And that's a big momentum. And that's a big momentum. So in my opinion, if that don't happen to them, I think they win that ball game. They score there. You're right. They can score from any part of the field. They can do it running. They can do it throwing. They can do it play action. They can do it sprint out. They can do the sprint out game. They have the whole package. Let's talk a little bit about defensive side of the ball. What can we expect from them? What can we expect from them? And how are we going to attack this week?
Look at film. They got some big. The linemen do a good job. The linemen do a good job. It's a plugging. Basically, they do their job. They do their job. They don't have somebody got Charlton County. They got some big guys. They got body guys. Big hard to move. If we don't do correct things that we're coached to do. To me, they did a good job. They did a good job. East Lawrence speed. Stretch the field. East Lawrence run top sweep. The defense gets killed on stretch. Made the tackle. But I'm looking. I see a well-coached team. They run a coached team. They run defense. They move around. Sometimes they jump. And sometimes they're in the vanilla 3-5. And sometimes they chop it up a little bit. They get the head up. They move around a lot. Sometimes that causes confusion to offensive line. But then again, they get do the rules. And hopefully we'll be okay.
That's a good thing you just touched on. Blocking for a wing T offense or a wing run offense or a run offense. You have different. But that really doesn't defense. But that really just switch your rules over. You just switch your rules over.
It doesn't. When we run tackles, butt sweep, it's the same today as it was 10 years ago. 10 years ago, and it'll be the same 25 years from now. 25 years from now, I'm tired than it was today. The rules don't change. The The kids have to believe. They have to get up to the line of scrimmage, make their calls, and be comfortable doing it. Sometimes they're doing it. They overthink it. Sometimes they question themselves. They make calls. I should go down here. I should go down here. In front of the guy in front of me. Maybe I should block him. They have to do what they're coached to do.
Coach, going down to every game has its challenges, stuff like that, and kids, sometimes you'll have those unfortunate injuries, things like that. What's the injury report for this week for you guys?
As a whole, football team is pretty healthy. We got some bumps and bruises, but then again, that's a lot better than other stuff that could happen to our student athletes. Some kids are required. We're taping their ankles a little bit more. We're taping more ankles now than we did 3 weeks ago, but that seems to be normal. But every Wednesday we put the kids in the ice bath and try to get our legs underneath us. But it's the normal football stuff, bumps and bruises.
So going into this Friday night for the first home game, Terra County going to spread the ball out a little bit. But what overall can we expect? What can we expect from our Blue Devils from week 1 to week 2? You talked about teams getting better from that transition time. What can we expect from our Blue Devils?
We're going to be an improved team. If we have to go back in the shell a little bit as far as how much we're doing, we'll do that. But we're going to be an improved football team. We're going to play a little bit faster because another game under our belt. So obviously defense hopefully be a little bit faster. We're going to pursue to the ball, try to get 11 hats on the ball. Offensively, we're just going to do what we do. That's why I tell kids eventually it's going to become second nature to them. It may not be right now, but it's going to get there. I hope it's there sooner than later. But we're going to try to get the ball in our athlete's hand in the open field. We're going to try to pound the ball. We're a team that's going to get physical. Manchester built their tradition on being physical and in the good old days, and we're going to try to do the same thing. We're going to be physical, but the team's going to be excited to play in front of the home crowd. I invite all the families out to come support the Blue Devils. I know the tickets are $7, and that's a pretty good price. I know in Mercer, I think it were $10, and we're the only football team in our region that charges $7. Everybody else charges $8. So it's just $1, but it makes a big difference. So come out and support the kids.
Yeah, Memorial Stadium should be a pretty awesome atmosphere. First home game for you as a coach. Are you ready to step out there on Greg Oglesby Field and coach these guys for the first time?
Yes, I am. We're just going to try to maintain the tradition and hopefully come out with a win.
Thank you for joining us on the Manchester Football Coaches Show. Make sure you tune in each week for the lowdown on all the Blue Devil football news.
Thank you for watching the Blue Devils Football Coaches Show. Brought to you by Manchester Farm Garden and Hardware and JT Signs. Join Coach Huck Stetler and your host JJ Hush next week as they continue to review and preview all the Blue Devils football games right here on Mountain Vision. This is Mountain Vision.